one. As told earlier, we three faculty members are going to handle data structures for you. For this subject, parallelly, lab session is also there. If the normal classes resume, we can go with data structures lab also. Yes. So this is the overall syllabus of your data structures content. I can share the screen fully. Try to take running notes, have note and pen with you. Though we are sharing this PPT, have the practice of taking running notes. If you didn't have so far this habit means, start this habit today onwards. So this is the syllabus covering all the 5 units. I have elaborated the first unit only here. Unit 1 deals with linear data structures. There are different types of data structures. We will see it in the next slides. In that particularly, we are going to see only about list. What is meant by list, what are the types of list applications, etc. All the operations that are done on list. Unit 2 fully deals with linear data structure only with respect to stack and queue. So those 2 data structures we are going to deal in detail in Unit 2. In Unit 3, we are going to see one non-linear data structure, namely tree. Same thing, what are the types of tree, how the tree is used, what are the operations that can be done, applications of tree, like that. Unit 4 fully deals with another non-linear data structure, graph. What is graph? What are the different ways of representing the graph? How we are using the graph in a normal situation, how graph is traversed, how the nodes are visited, like that, applications of graph, etc. In 5th unit, we are going to see important techniques in data structure or the operations, searching, sorting and hashing techniques. Hope you are aware of these topics in your second sem paper. In your C programming itself, in the 4th unit, I think you have crossed this one of these data structures. I think you will be able to understand quickly. You can download this textbook from the net. The famous author for data structure, Mark Allen Weiss. There is a very common data structure book that you can use till your career, not only till your interview, till your career you can use this book. And another textbook is by Rima Tereja. You can refer these books for further informations. Now we are going to see these topics in this session. A very introduction session only, no need to get worried. What is data structure? What are the fundamentals of data structure? Why we need data structure? What are the different classification of data structures? Then we are going to see what is primitive and non-primitive data structure. Finally, I will end with one important term called ADT. Before getting into fundamentals of data structure, I want to interact with you. Can anyone unmute and say what is data? With this introduction only, we can get it into the data structures concept. What is data? I need quick responses, students. Come on.
Collection of information.
Yes?
Collection of information.
It's not exactly right. Your name, Priyadarshan. Okay. You have to be little bit more specific. Can anyone define data? Others
Collective form of
respond.
information, ma'am.
Sujita? Yes?
Collective form of information, ma'am.
No, there is no need to use that word information here itself because that is another separate definition. You might get confused. Okay, you tried your level. Good. Venkat Sriram.
Collection of raw data.
Collection. No, that I am asking about the data only. Collection of raw. I need that word. Anyone else can put it in chat also. Surya Datta. Yes, facts. Collection of raw facts. Good. Collection of any raw facts. That itself is called as data. It's not collection of information. Yes. Collection of data or any data. Simply any individual data. I mean, any fact can be called as a data. This Google Classroom, it's a data. We can call it as object. In particular, we can call it as object. A variable A, we can call it as data. Numbers 1, 2, 3, etc. We can call it as data. Yes, our name itself is a data. So with that data, what we are going to derive? I need this 2 minutes quick interaction, then only I will start the data structure concept. Be interactive, students. Though it is right or wrong, try to answer either in chat or unmute and tell. Good. Information, collection of data. I mean, what we are going to do with data means we are going to get information. By using what functionality we are getting that information? By processing the data. Yes, I'm going to process the data. I'm putting in chat itself if you want to understand. Processed data is called as information. Because I'm having some numbers 1, 2, 3, 29, 56 randomly, I have different numbers. That is data only as of now. With that data, what I am going to do? I am going to find the square root of 24. I am going to do multiplication for 3 numbers. I am going to find the factorial of any number. So I am going to do something with that number. I am going to process that particular data. So that is called as information. Yes, from information what we are getting? There are 4 terms that are related from data till end. Raw fact is called as data. The processed data is called as information. From that information, what I am going to get? What's the use of information? Yeah, assume that your class database itself. Required output, yes, good. But I need exact answer, Aparna. Coding, no. To be more specific, to be general. I'm having your roll number, name, class, etc. Marks and all, that is your data. I found that GPA using your marks. That means I have processed that data. So that is your information. With your roll number, name, gender, department, GPA, what I am going to do? What I am getting? Interpretation. Okay. I need an exact answer. Report. Think little bit out of box. Don't assume that I'm just telling an example as your class database. I mean, class data as an example. A table, no. Yeah, in that table, what I'm getting? From that report, what I'm gaining? I put a clue also. What I'm gaining? Information provides context to the data. Yes, Naren Adityan, yes, correct. From that information, what I am gaining? From your CGP and all, what we are gaining? We are going to put some top 10 students, top 100 students like that. Yes, Aparna, good knowledge. That exact word I need. From that information, we are gaining knowledge. Yes. From that knowledge, one more word is there, what we are inferring. I will give one clue. Either we can infer or the computer can infer. From those knowledge. From data, we are getting information. From information, we are gaining knowledge. From knowledge, what we are getting? The knowledge itself is a part of solution, Venkat, Sriram. One more word I need. Be quick. Their position. No, apply this to all problems, all domains. From data, we are having information. From that information, we are getting some knowledge. Then what? It starts with the letter I. From knowledge, we are gaining. So I am having little knowledge in computer science. I am having some little knowledge in electronics related part. From that, what I am going to improve? Not invention. No, it's not interaction. I gave clue also. We or the computers will do. Yes, Shifi, yes, Jay, good, very good, Shri. Intelligence. We are getting intelligence. We means either the computer or the common people, or we the users. We are gaining the intelligence. So this is the a sequence of words you have to remember hereafter from today. So far we know raw facts as data, a processed data as information. From that information we are gaining the knowledge. From gaining knowledge from different domains, I am getting the intelligence. If we are giving that intelligence to computer, then that is called as your artificial intelligence. People are making so many researches in artificial intelligence. Only with our programs only. Only we are behind them. We are behind the system to control. All robots are working under the functionality of artificial intelligence only. But what is the source? Only data. The data information, how we are giving, how the data comes to the machine, only through the users, only through the programmers, they are feeding the data and they are making the system to work, computer to work. Yes, and this thing I want to specifically tell, because for the data structures we need to know about whatever, we need to know the difference about data information, etc. Now we come to this slide. First, very basics of data structure. Structure means what? It has some what? Some format, some proper style like that. Okay. For similarly, data we are going to have some particular format. That is called as data structure. How I am going to organize the data, because data can be present anywhere. Data is present anywhere. Data is present all over the world. So many trillions of data are around us. So how we are going to organize the data? Yes, and how we are going to store the data in memory. So that is the basis of data structure. That is called as data structure in simple terms. If anyone asks what is data structure means, the way of organizing the data. Not only organizing and storing the data, because data storage is most important than the accessing the data. Though we are going to access the data anywhere at any time, we have to store it somewhere properly. So that way of organizing the data is called as data structure. It gives the logical relationship between the individual elements of data. That means a data can be uh, determined by many of its characteristics. How the relationship exists between the individual data, one data to other data. So that can be represented using the data structure, and it mainly affects both the structural and functional aspects of a program. Structural aspect means you are very well familiar with the structure of a C program. Yes, initially you have to start with the header file, then if there is any global declaration means you can give global declaration, then main function. Inside the main function you will have some declaration, then you are getting the input, processing the input, storing the output, and then you are closing the main. This is one structure. Similarly, for all data, you have to follow some structure. This is the structural aspect of a program. Functional aspect means if you are using some functions, if you are going to use some recursive function, subroutine like that, which function to be called first? Which function is called in your main program? Where the control goes like that? How the inputs are scanned? How the inputs are processed? Those are called as functional aspects. For all these things, data structure plays the major role. So this is the very fundamental of data structure. Yes, hope you all follow how we are organizing the data. If you, for example, let us take the class itself. We have divided into A section, B section, and C section. Assume that in suppose if there is no section, no department at all students of RIT will be in one place. Any person can talk, anyone can deliver. Only few of you will reach it. Okay, we have to organize. If you are putting all your 150 in a single classroom, it will be difficult to manage in physical classroom. But here in online classroom, it is easy. Yes, you are able to cope up with the things easily also. So for that we have to organize. We have arranged in different sections. Section A contains some 50 to 60 students. B contains 50 to 60. So it is easy to access all the data. That means it is easy to track all of you. Same thing only it is applicable in data structures. Got it? Why we need data structure? Before reading any concept, I'm not telling about computer science. Before reading anything in physics, chemistry, electronics, or anything, you have to think of a question. Why we are using that particular concept? You will study the definition for anything. Okay, for anything in chemistry like that, you have so many things you might have studied so far. Why we use that particular thing? Why we use that particular concept? You have to think. Then you will get automatically the answer. It will be easily remembering. It will be easily remembered in your mind. Same thing. Why we need data structure? In order to create powerful algorithms. As we all know, before writing a coding, a pakka programmer, a perfect programmer has to write an algorithm, efficient algorithm. Algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step procedure that we are writing manually. Either we can write it in a notebook itself, or you can use through flowchart, or you can type in your system, anything. But that algorithm is most important because there may be different solutions for a particular problem. But which algorithm is going to compute fast? Which algorithm will make the execution fast? Which algorithm will improve the speed and performance of a particular system? That is most important. Okay. For that powerful algorithm, for creating the powerful algorithm, this data structures plays a very important role. Yes. Suppose a very simple question, addition of two numbers. Write an algorithm to add two numbers. If the question is asked, means normally what we people will do, start the program, declare the variables, read the input, like that process, store the output, display the result, stop. What else we can do? We can use functions also to add two numbers. Like that, we have to think. There may be chances of different algorithms, many algorithms, but it should save the time, computation time. It should minimize the computation time. For that, for creating the powerful algorithm, we are using data structures. Then the second point, use the data efficiently. As told earlier, we have split it into three sections. Why means to make use of your knowledge, etc., skills efficiently. If we are having some small group, means it is easy to track and it is easy to manage. Like that, to make the data to be used efficiently, we are using the data structures. The third point, it makes the code cleaner and easier to understand. What is meant by cleaner here? Cleaner means there is no, clean means the code should be clean. That means there is
Without,
no, yes,
without any error.
yes, correct. Without any error and also without any unwanted statements. It's not only without any error, code should be clean means the exact problem statement should be reflected in your solution. No need to give unnecessary statements and all. So that is your clean code. And this data structure, it will make the code easier to understand. And it will manage and organize the data. That is the definition I had given. How to organize the data and how to store the data. Here managing. All these are the important aspects of why we use data structure. And the last one for efficient searching. This is a very important functionality in almost all data structures. Yes. So these are the points for which why we use data structure. This is the need for data structure. Without any structure, we can't access the data efficiently. So only I have mentioned the second point, to use the data efficiently and also to search the data efficiently. Hope you got it. So now we move on to the classification of data structure. So far we are very familiar with the term data type. Yes, this data types, it comes under the data structure only. Data structure, it is majorly divided into two important classification: primitive data type and data structure, and non-primitive. A primitive is nothing but the normal data types, as now told, the data types that we are using: integer, character. Anything else? Unmute and tell it fast. As I put full screen, I can't able to see the chat. Any one of you students, unmute and tell the answers quickly. If I ask, what are the general data types we are using? Default data types we are using. Integer, character. Yes.
Integer, float, character.
Float, character. Good. Okay. Integer, character, float, real. In some programming language, we can call it as real. Character, string, pointers, all are called as primitive data types here. Yes, so I didn't mention any, there is no further classification under primitive. Under non-primitive data structure, we have two types, linear and non-linear data structures. I'll explain one by one later. Now look at this diagram itself, we will move on to the next slides. Linear and non-linear. Under linear, actually, no need to mention that one, but to be specific, under linear, we have static and dynamic type, but in general, we can tell the hierarchical structure of linear as array, stack, queue, list, all comes under linear data type. Under non-linear data structure, we have two important data structures, trees and graph. This array, linked list, stack, queue, they can be further divided into two, static and dynamic. Under static, we have array. But here there is one controversial statement. There is the possibility of dynamic array also sometimes. Yes, we will discuss in the next classes later. Under dynamic, we have linked list, stack, and queue. But no need to worry about the static and dynamic. Non-primitive is divided into two major types, linear and non-linear. Under linear, we have the examples array, list, stack, and queue. Under non-linear, we have trees and graphs. Got it? Why it is mentioned? There is another name for non-primitive, user-defined data structures. Why means we are going to derive those data structures from the primitive data structures. So only they are called as user-defined or non-primitive data structures. Yes. Now let us see what is primitive data structure. Any data structure that is directly operated on any instruction, that is called as primitive data structure. Machine level instruction means the computer instructions that are done. How the compiler is going to operate on those instructions. So if any data type we are directly using on the machine level instruction means that is called as primitive data structure. For example, float a comma b. That means I am going to declare the variables a and b as float. I have directly applied on the particular, I have directly specified the instruction float a comma b. Char x of 10. I have declared an array x of 10 characters. So it is directly used. That is called as primitive data type. So integer, float, point, character, constant, strings, pointers, these are the only primitive data structures. What are the operations that we can do on the data structures means we can create. We are obviously creating any data type, then only we can use. We can select a particular data type and we can convert it into some other data type like that. We can update. Suppose I have declared some variable as integer. I want to make it as a float. I can do. That is called as updation. Delete. If I declared an array size of 50, but I want to reduce it 20 means I can reduce the size. Okay. I have declared some 4 variables, but in my program I am going to use only 2 variables means at some part I can delete the variable if it is not used at all. So these are the operations that can be done on primitive data structures. As told, non-primitive means they are derived from the primitive data structures. Normally in some books or if you cross some Google website means, normally data structure means they have mentioned as linear and non-linear. Under linear, they mentioned array, linked list, stack, queue. Under non-linear, trees and graph. That is also right, but to be specific, from the core, how the data is classified means primitive and non-primitive. Under primitive, you have all the data types, all the default data types, integer characters. So those are the primitive. No need to confuse with those things. As we are going to derive some new data structures from the primitive, they are called as non-primitive or user-defined data structures. That non-primitive only, it is again classified into two types, linear and non-linear. We can form either homogeneous or heterogeneous elements from those data structures. Homogeneous means elements of same data type. Heterogeneous means elements of different data type. Array is an example for homogeneous data type. Int x of 100. So all 100 elements will be of data type integer only. But for heterogeneous data type, can anyone say an example? It can have a combination of different data types. You studied in second semester. You studied recently only. Heterogeneous data type.
Structure in C.
Yes.
List
Good.
in Python.
Very good. List
Tuple
in
in
Python. Yes, good. A very common example for heterogeneous itself is structure. Under structure, I can use what? Integer, character, float. I can have combination of all data types. Yes, so that is called as heterogeneous data type. So here under non-primitive, we can form either homogeneous or heterogeneous elements. For any data structure, as told earlier, it is used to store the data and it is used to search the data efficiently, to manage the data efficiently like that. So there are some common operations that can be done on all the non-primitive data structure. Insertion, deletion, selection, traversal, searching, sorting, and then merging. These are the 7 important basic operations that can be done on non-primitive data structures. Traversal means visiting, go through how many elements are there in a particular array, how many elements are there in a stack or queue. If some 10 students are standing in a queue, it means I am going to traverse starting from first student, second, third, just I am looking at all of you who are all standing like that. That is called as traversal. Then I can insert elements one by one. I can delete the elements. I can select a particular element. From the class, we are picking some student who is excelled in some extracurricular or co-curricular activity. Like that, selecting a particular element. Searching. I want to search whether this student is present or not. I can do using some algorithm. Searching, sorting. I want to sort all your names in ascending order or descending order. Not only ascending, sorting means don't think that only ascending, in any order, either ascending or descending order. Finally, merging, combining the elements. So that is called as merging. So these are the major operations that can be done on the non-primitive data structures. Hope you understand. Under non-primitive, I want to mention, I didn't put it in the slide, linear and non-linear. As the name itself implies, what is linear data structure? Data structure means how we are organizing the data. Linear means sequential. We are going to organize the data sequentially. That is called as linear data structure. Arranging the elements in a consecutive order. Arranging the elements in a particular fashion sequentially. That is called as linear data structure. Non-linear means just a variation, just the opposite of linear. No need to be in a sequential manner. The data can be arranged randomly. But we can do these operations, selection, searching, sorting easily. In that non-primitive data, non-linear data structure also. So under linear, we have list, array, stack, and queue. List means a collection of elements. I'm going to arrange one by one. Don't think that sequentially means in ascending order only. It's not like that. I'm going to arrange in the memory location sequentially. Don't think that you have to arrange only the elements in ascending or descending order. It's not the point. How we are arranging the elements in the memory, that is important. Try to interpret, try to imagine that situation, how the elements are arranged. If I'm using array means the elements will be arranged consecutively, starting from the index 0, 1, 2, etc. Yes, but in non-linear, there is no need to arrange the elements sequentially. We can arrange it in any order randomly. Hope you remember. Again, I repeat, for linear, the examples are array, linked list, stack, and queue. For non-linear data structure, trees and graphs. So with this, we can stop. A very common notation hereafter you are going to use very often. ADT. If anyone aware of it, please tell, but I have put the slide also. Abstract data type.
Abstract.
Yes, what is abstract data type? Can anyone define? ADT means abstract data type, that is the expansion. What is abstract data type? Abstract. Yes, you may not be very familiar. I'll tell now. It is nothing but abstraction. Abstraction means what? I'm going to reveal only the important details. I will hide some unnecessary details, unwanted details. That is called as abstraction. So it will provide only the interface. Suppose I'm going to use stack as my data structure means how I am that interface only given. It won't mention how the stack is implemented in what programming language. Think of the compiler point of view. I'm not telling in general. Yes, how the data structure is used in your program. You may not be aware of it, but that all those functions will be done automatically. I can do searching, sorting, etc. Just I am going to sort the elements using merge sort. Yes, so for that I have used some data structure. I am aware of only the interface, but I don't know how it is implemented, in what programming language it is implemented. So that is the meaning of abstract data type. All our data structures that I have told so far, linked list, stack, queue, list, etc., all are called as abstract data type only. To be more specific, I'll give one practical example. I mentioned two things, food and furniture. With this, I will stop. Just I will come to the chat part. I mentioned food as a data type. Can anyone tell how food can be a data ADT? Food, furniture, anything we can call. Just the classroom itself is a ADT. ADT means it's an interface. It does not tell anything. It does not care about the implementation and all. So food means, I'll tell one sentence, eating food. I ate food. If I mention like that means, is it giving exact meaning? No. Just it is telling interface that I have finished eating. I ate food, but I didn't mention specifically what I ate. I ate idli, I ate dosa, I ate rice, like that. So you have no need to be specific. So here food as the abstract data type. It tells only the interface. It does not tell what that food means, where it was taken, at which time it was taken, how it was taken, that and all. So that is the example. Furniture. Buying furniture. It's an abstract data type. I didn't mention particularly where the furniture was bought, what's the cost, like that. Buying furniture is the abstract data type. Under furniture, we can have what? Chair, table, desk, etc. So that is the abstract data type. We will continue in the next session with this abstract data type. Then we'll move on to linear data structures. Yes? Any doubts from your side? Feel free to ask. Unmute your mic and you can ask doubts. I need the session to be interactive. There will be question answer session tomorrow in the beginning and at the end also. We will randomly pick the students. So try to be interactive. Hope you all understand. Put it in chat at least. How was the session? Jasmine ma'am, you can stop the recording now.